Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Okay, what do we got here?
These are blueprints for a very, very famous structure called Falling Water, used by Frank Lloyd Wright.
That's pretty amazing. And these are, like, really damaged ones?
Those have had some waterfall on them, appropriately.
All right, yeah, because that would have happened.
Yeah. I have the actual blueprints for Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water that I'm looking to sell today. These are blueprints that were used for the most famous house in the world. There are 10 blueprints altogether. I'm looking for $80,000 for this collection.
This is incredible. Wright was this amazing architect. He did over 1,000 buildings in his life. And any building or house built by Frank Lloyd Wright is probably considered an American treasure. Wright developed organic architecture, which was really, really cool. And every house he built, he wanted it to reflect the nature around it. So he would use local stone, local wood. He wanted the house to be part of nature. So this is Frank Lloyd Wright's Falling Water. It was designed in 1935, and it is the American Mona Lisa. And it's a natural waterfall that the house is built over. Architecturally, it's amazing. It really is. Where did you get these?
So I got one group of them from the people who constructed the windows, and another group I purchased in Chicago.
Okay. One of the things I like about these things, you can tell someone didn't just like go and make these things up. Blueprints from back then look like this. There's all this scribbles on the vellums right there. That's where you get the cross mark right there. What makes these worth all the money in the world is where it says Kaufman House, Bear Run, Pennsylvania, Frank Lloyd Wright. And Falling Water was built for the Kaufman family, and it was built in Bear Run, Pennsylvania. So we know this is Falling Water. This is super cool.
Thanks.
So here's a big question. What do you want for them?
$80,000 is what I want.
Every big architectural firm in the United States would want one of these framed up in their lobby, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of selling to get it there. So I'll tell you what, I'll give you my best shot. I'll give you $40,000 for them.
Bottom line, 50 grand.
I'll go 41.
I really am stuck on 50 in my head.
If you change your mind, give me a call.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks. No deal was made today, and I don't really feel bad because maybe I'll sell them individually and several people can enjoy them rather than just one person.
Got something I think you might be interested in.
A poster, right?
You know, it's something a little bit better and different than that. This is the original blueprint of the electric chair from the Joliet State Prison in Statesville.
Okay, that's definitely more interesting than a poster.
This was a brand new thing for the state of Illinois, so sometimes they had inmates help them do it, or they had their staff build that chair. I would like $5,000. If that's not possible, maybe $1,800.
So where in the world did you get this?
Well, back in the 1970s, I worked at the county jail for a few years. One of the old-timers there who was retiring took a liking to me as a rookie and gave me this. The Joliet State Prison was part of Cook County back then in 1925 when they opened up.
Okay, so there were some Chicago mob guys in there, right?
Definitely, definitely.
Over the past, 120 years, the electric chair is probably one of the more interesting things to be invented. Most places have switched out the electric chair for the gas chamber or lethal injections. People seem to think it's a little bit more humane, but how would you know unless you ever been put in one?
Is this electric chair still at the prison?
It still exists, except it's all bricked up. August 24th, 1962 was the last time in the state of Illinois that they executed anybody. And they bricked it up, hoping that maybe the state would change their mind and have it come back.
Yeah, it's been a controversial issue, whether the state has the right to actually kill somebody. I mean, there's people out there that will say if murder's illegal, the state can't murder you, no matter how bad of a guy you are. And then there's plenty of people out there that believe, there's just some people that are such they deserve to die. I'm sure collectors would be all over these blueprints. If this is an original and not something that was mass printed, it might be pretty special. How much do you want for it?
I'm looking at 5.
500?
5,000.
5,000.
Whoa.
Okay, Do you mind if I give a buddy of mine a call?
Who would that be?
It's my buddy Mark, Clark County Museum guy. He's pretty much knows everything there is to know about everything.
Sure.
All right.
I have no problem with them calling in another person to look at them. He's going to see that they are real and they are the originals.
So what do you know about electric chairs?
I wouldn't sit in one.
Can you read the blueprints to one?
Yes. Oh, it's Stateville. Okay. There are only 3 electric chairs in the entire state. One of them was at Stateville, which is the state penitentiary. Joseph Reagan, he was the warden at that point. He didn't like to do executions. He didn't believe in executions. So he always appointed one of his staff, a deputy, to actually turn on the juice, as it were. The electric chair does still exist today. There are a few states that still have it as a primary means of execution. There are a number of states where it is available if the criminal being executed asks for it. But in most cases throughout the United States, most states have gotten rid of it. One of the things I think is kind of interesting about these, they tried to make them at least a little bit comfortable. You had actually different ways of restraining you. You have a padded seat that can be removed. The back here can be moved so that you can lean back more or less. There was an odd nod to comfort on that when it was going to be utilized.
How common are these things?
You can find blueprints in books, in histories of executions in the United States, things like that. They've been reproduced. But to find a first-generation print, that's unusual. I can say that looking at this, the paper is right, the age is right. This is real. This would be a first-generation blueprint for the electric chair.
Okay. Oh, thanks, Mark.
Not
Appreciate
a problem. So,
See you later.
and thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You wouldn't think that there'd be a collector's market for devices like the electric chair, but there are. It's kind of nice to see a single design that's original to the time period.
So how much were you looking to get out of it?
I would like to get about $5,000 for it.
That's a little much. If it said Edison anywhere on here, you'd be looking at $5,000 all day long. The fact that it doesn't, it makes it worth a little bit less. So I'd like to offer you around $800 for it.
No.
Are you willing to come down at all?
I'm willing to come down to about 22.
Realistically, after I spent some money on it, I could probably get 3. Could you go 1,000?
$16.
1,500.
Get a deal.
All right, good. Sean, you want to write them up?
Sure, grab the plans and I'll meet you at the front.
His offer for $800 was just out of the question. It just didn't seem reasonable, especially when they're authentic. It's less than I was hoping for, but it's better than nothing, and I'm happy with that.
What do you have here?
My Disney California Adventure blueprints.
All right, well, I hope you're not expecting me to build a theme park for you.
No, not at all. Just trying to see how much I can get for them. I'm at the pawn shop today trying to sell my Disney California Adventure blueprints. These blueprints are the original bid sets for the California Adventure project. I acquired these blueprints approximately 23 years ago, working for a general contractor. We bid the project. We weren't the successful bidders, so I kept the plans. The blueprints are in good condition. They have normal wear and tear, but overall, they're complete and no missing pages. I'm hoping to get $10,000 for my Disney California Adventure blueprints.
They look pretty cool. So were these plans used to determine like how much you would bid for the contract?
Correct. Prior to construction, these plans are given to contractors to put a price to the construction.
Some management plans, some trip reduction plans. Oh, this is pretty cool. This, I guess, would have been a map of the original layout of the California Adventure, which has changed tremendously. California Adventure is adjacent to Disneyland. It's built on the original parking lot of Disneyland. Construction started in the park in 1998. This would be a theme park where people could come to and kind of experience what Southern California had to offer. Did you guys end up getting the bid?
No, we did not. Typically, at the time when we didn't get a project, it would go into the shredder room, and I actually saved these from the shredder room. I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, no, they're pretty cool, and I imagine someone would want to put these in their collection. I mean, the condition looks like what you'd expect for some plans that were used as a bidding. There's some rips in them. I imagine if I went through them, there could be random stains on the pages and stuff like that. But these were never meant to last, and these were a tool. And I'm sure there was a team of at least 10 people, maybe even more, going through these.
Yeah, we would drill through these for about a month and putting prices to all the quantities.
So how much are you looking to get?
I'm looking to get about $10,000 today.
Okay, I have no idea what they're worth. They are Disney. Disney's very collectible, so I'd like to have someone come down, take a look at everything, and we'll go from there.
That'll be fantastic.
I'll be right back.
Awesome, thank you. I'm hoping the expert will value my plans above my asking price, but overall, I just want to know what they're worth.
Hey, Patrick.
Hey, Chumley, how's it going?
Pretty good. This gentleman has some blueprints from the California Adventure, and these would have been for the bidding process of it.
Wow, that's fun. Disney California Adventure was highly anticipated. Disney really thought they were going to have a home run with this park, but one of the first big problems was there were no characters at Disney California Adventure. They left them at Disneyland, so it had very bad attendance in the first couple of years and really received some negative press in the Disney community.
Well, do you want to take a look at these and tell me what you think?
Sure. So this is the Golden State area, so it's not the whole park. This was a bid, and they bid it out piecemeal, where the different contractors would bid and build only parts of the park instead of actually building the whole park. And blueprints are great, lots of fantastic information. The unfortunate thing with blueprints is Disney collectors really like things that were there. It's actually used in the construction. It may have notes on it. It may have changes, revisions that were done in the field. These are just for the bid.
Are blueprints that were used for bidding purposes still collectible?
They're still collectible because there's information in there. And there's several different types of Disney collectors, particularly when it comes to theme parks.
So what value would you put on the bundle of blueprints?
So Disney collectors really want stuff that tugs their memories of growing up and going to the park or watching a film. So blueprints are popular, particularly for classic rides. And a blueprint from Haunted Mansion would probably be around $3,000 to $5,000 a sheet. But Disney California Adventure, not much nostalgia for it. I would price the bundle at $3,000.
Oh, jeez.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.
Thanks, have a good day. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, well, not the $10,000 you were hoping for. I mean, with these being worth $3,000, I'd be willing to give you like $1,000 for them. I'm sure if these had construction notes on there, they would be, you know, much more valuable. But like he said, these were never actually used in the park, which does make a big difference in the collectability.
I would go as low as $2,500.
That's just still a little bit too much for me because there's other costs involved with me actually selling these. So I'm not going to be able to pay the $2,500. But if you do decide in the future that you would still like to sell them, then you can always bring them back and we can renegotiate.
All right, sounds good.
All right, well, thanks for bringing these in. Have a good rest of your day.
You too, thank you. Well, this wasn't the adventure I was hoping for. I'm gonna take my blueprints home and try to sell them online.
Hey, how can I help you?
I have some architectural plans for the Pentagon that my grandfather designed. This was actually his artist rendering for the war room specifically.
Wow, that's cool. You know, if you can imagine just how critical this room is to the United States.
True, and the public will never see this room. That's
No.
the thing. That's what's really cool about this.
You don't work for the NSA or anything, do you?
No, I'm pretty safe. What I brought today was the actual architectural plans for the war room in the Pentagon that my grandfather was the lead architect on. I have tried to look on the internet. I can't find anything out there like these, so I literally have no idea.
So it's this is the war room.
Yes, and that's my grandfather. His name was George Wright.
What you have here is real interesting. You can just imagine sitting in these chairs. You have, you know, the Joint Chiefs, realistically, where they plan a war. And what's really cool is, I mean, it's possible that Kennedy was sitting right there deciding whether or not we were going to drop a bomb on Russia. In terms of symbols of U.S. power, it doesn't get much bigger than the Pentagon. From the Cold War to the Middle East today, the people in this building have shaped history. So this look behind the scenes is awesome. Okay, we have the administrative offices, security, obviously when we walk in. You know, obviously they had a very good tasted wood, you know, walnut wood strips removable.
Of course.
Any idea of what you're looking to get for it?
$20,000.
$20,000. All right. It would make sense to believe that something like this would be worth a lot of money. The fact of the matter is, you have to find somebody really interested in knowing what kind of electrical panels were in the Pentagon. There was 15,000 construction workers on this job. We were handing these things out like it was water.
I have not been able to find anything like this on the internet.
You have something a little different.
Right, so you're getting a peek at history.
I see what you're saying, but if you had the blueprints to the White House, I wouldn't give you $20,000 for them. You know, the best thing I can tell you is they're your grandfathers. Obviously, they mean a lot to you. And what I'm going to offer you and what you're asking, we're so far apart, I don't see us making a deal.
I can respect that.
Anytime, it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Since we weren't able to make a deal, I'll probably just hold on to them. If they're that interesting now, what are they going to be like in 25, 30 more years?
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. I have something that I got at an estate sale. It's the diversion tunnel blueprints from the Hoover Dam from 1932.
This is really, really cool. You want to know the most amazing fact about Hoover Dam?
Yes.
It was a government project. It was done under budget and done early.
The blueprints are of the diversion tunnels that were built to divert water around the dam prior to building the dam. I'm asking $250, but realistically, I'm probably thinking I'll settle for around $150.
That picture is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, it's an old negative of Hoover Dam.
Have you ever been out to Hoover Dam?
I have, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but I haven't seen that personally.
Literally, it is one of the most amazing projects ever built in this country. The Colorado River was just insane. There was so much flooding and everything down past Boulder Canyon. That's where they built it. It was just really needed. But when they built the dam, they had to build these diversion tunnels and then build a small dam and have the water run through these diversion tunnels past the dam, so they had a place to build the dam. So they had to dig down like over 100 feet to the bedrock. And you know why it's curved? It's because the pressure of the lake pushes into it and tries to straighten it out. It pushes the sides into the walls of the canyon. This was so high-tech for the time, they had to come up with new ways to build it. These blueprints are from the Hoover Dam construction site, so they're really interesting. But interesting doesn't always mean valuable. What do you want for them?
$250.
You have a really, really neat piece of history here.
Thank you.
But there was thousands and thousands of people working on the dam.
True.
Okay? And every one of them had a set of blueprints in front of them. And especially on a project this big, there must have been a print shop going 24/7 making blueprints.
I didn't think about that.
All right. So, give you $150. And I get the weird little negative picture?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna sell it as a set. 175?
Just wondering if they'll sell.
160?
Yeah, what the hell?
Deal. Thank you.
Okay. All right, let's go up front. I'll write you up.
Thank you. I would have taken less if he would have started with a lower number, but I'm really glad that it ended up at 160.
What do we have here?
It's a 1913 blueprint copy machine by the CF Pease Company in Chicago, Illinois.
This is really, really, really cool. This was like a game-changing machine. This was mass-produced blueprints. Because after this, they came up with an ammonia process, which was a lot safer. But your plans always smelled like ammonia. Do you remember those?
Yeah, I do, actually. Yeah.
So you're old as me.
I'm coming in today to try to sell my 1913 blueprint copy machine. I want to sell the blueprint machine because my wife doesn't like it in our front room of our house. She said it doesn't match the furniture. I told her to get new furniture, but she's not having that.
It's a really neat system. I really dig it. It was finally a way for people to make inexpensive blueprints. You know, you'd have your trace paper across the front here, and then you'd have your chemically treated paper over it.
Then you'd roll that close.
Okay, that didn't work. Oh, great.
It rolls close.
And that would pull it against there, and then it would blast the light on it. There would be like a razor blade system or something like that that would slice it off, and then it would go into a washing machine, and then it would go into a dryer. It could do one a minute, but it was like 10 minutes before it got done with the process. This is chemistry nerd gold right here. The thing is, what do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it.
How much you want for it?
Well, the only other one I've seen went for $18,000, so I was thinking $12,000. You're not going to see another one here.
I know I'm not going to see another one. It will take me forever to find a buyer. I mean, I'd give you $1,000 for it, dude, but I mean, that's what I'd do. I mean, I just don't know when it'll sell or if it'll sell.
Can you go up to 3?
I'll give you $1,000.
All right, $1,000.
All right, I am an absolute moron probably, but it's really cool.
No, it's...
All right, let's go do some paperwork, man.
All right, great. Settling on $1,000 for the blueprint machine just because I don't want to have to take it home, and I don't want to have to listen to my wife after I do take it home.
Dude, I seen that blueprint copy machine. Looks pretty cool. It's all like big and just obnoxious.
Believe it or not, that was like super high technology.
I don't think it was that high tech. It's a light bulb and a printer.
You know, whatever is like the newest thing today is high tech. When I was a kid, a big wheel was high tech.
Yeah, that's not high tech, Rick. You gotta get cutting edge. We're talking flying cars. I need a car that drives, it just takes off and flies. You can land in the water, bust out your fishing pole, fly home to my robot dog who delivers drinks to me. Might even be able to cook dinner. That's cutting edge. That's high tech.
Those things don't exist.
And that's why it would be cutting edge.
So we won't have cutting edge technology till we have a flying car boat.
Makes sense if you think about it.
I guess he's got some kind of point, right?
How did a antique blueprint machine turn into that conversation?